Alright y'all, this is my new popcorn gadget. It is the Redenbacher Presto hot oil popcorn popper. I purchased this about a couple of weeks ago because my Nordic Ware bowl has been put to the test and I have brought it to its demise. It cracked from the inside and out. It's like a little hairline fracture though, but I can feel the crack on the inside and out. And so I didn't trust using that in the microwave. Plus, the microwave that my family member let me use since 2001, the table stopped turning. So I was like, okay, so what am I going to do? I want popcorn and I don't have nothing to cook it in, and I don't like popping popcorn in a pot because I've never done it before. So these are the instructions that come with it first. The itemized paper to show you what it is. It gives the do's and the don'ts, and it has like the cooking chart on what to use. I'm going to use the first one because it's just me. And it have all of these instructions on what to use, and as you can see on number 3, it says to remove the butter melter. Now, I'm going to move this out the way. This is the butter melter. I had a hard time trying to get this thing off. And I don't want to take it off right now because I'm pretty sure I will probably mess it up or break a nail or something like that. Now, I'm going to talk about the cons first because the cons outweigh the pros. For the first thing, the con is that I can't get that lid off without prying it open for the jaws of life. The second con is that it doesn't say to put the lid back on once you put the butter on there. I had no problems putting the butter on there, but that was the problem. When I popped the popcorn, the butter wasn't melting fast enough. So I put the lid on top, and by the time the popcorn was done, the butter just started to melt. So I had styrofoam popcorn, and I don't like my popcorn to taste like styrofoam. Also, another con is that this thing is so quiet. You can't even tell when the popcorn is done. So I have to stand here to make sure the popcorn is done because it doesn't have an on and off feature. Once you plug it in, it's on. Once you turn it off, it's off. So I'm going to try this again. I have 1/3 cup of popcorn. I would make more, but it's just me. It's also said to don't put like I think it's some kind of oil. You can put any kind of oil in here, but there's somewhere in here where it says don't use butter, don't use olive oil, and something else because it says that it burns really fast. But I'm trying to find it. Yes. It says right there, you may use any kind of vegetable oil or popping oil, but it tells you butter, margarine, shortening, lard. It shouldn't be used because they burn easily. Now, when I did the Nordic Ware, I used margarine, and it popped really well. The butter, it was a lot of butter left afterwards. So I'm going to melt 2 tablespoons of butter, and I'm going to pour it in here, add a little salt and popcorn, and I'm going to show you guys if this worked or not. This is my second time using it, and let's see how this works. I will be right back. Okay, I am circling the butter. I've melted it for about like 20 seconds. This is just 2 tablespoons of butter, and I put some popcorn salt into the butter. So now here is the test. I had to take the lid off camera. I had to use the jaws of life to pry that off. I'm going to pour the popcorn around in here. Put that aside. And I'm going to try to evenly pour this butter around in here. The good news about this thing is that it heats up really, really fast. So hopefully by 2 minutes it'll start popping, and by 4.5 it will be done. Now I'm just turning it on. Let's see how it goes. As you can see, the minute I plugged it in, that's the on feature. And of course, so I won't torture you guys when I edit this, I will fast forward it. But I just wanted you to see how it is. And like I said, when you pop this popcorn, you cannot leave it unattended. Okay, so I unplugged this, and you can see it's still plugging. It took longer to pop than it did with the vegetable oil. So I'm going to try this another different way. I'm waiting until this gets done popping. I'm pretty sure it's probably really cooking this popcorn. So I'm going to go and put this, once it stops really completely popping, I'm going to flip it. I'll put the lid on and then flip it, and then show you guys what it turned out to look like. And I'll be right back. Alright, so I flipped this. What? Word to the wise. That is hot. Okay, so I gotta get my gloves out. I wasn't expecting that. Okay, so this is the popcorn. It got a lot of seeds in here. I don't know if you can see that. So this first experiment, well, the second experiment is probably a fail. So what I'm going to do, I don't want to eat too much popcorn today. I'm going to try this again later on, but this time I think I'm going to pour the melted butter over the popcorn while it's popping, and then I will show you guys how that turned out, and hopefully that'll turn out right. So I'll see you guys when I try this again. Okay, I am back with the third attempt on trying to make some popcorn. To recap, the first time I made this, I used just a tablespoon and a half of vegetable oil, and I put the butter on top of here. Oh, I forgot to take the lid off. So, let me see if I can take this off without doing that. So, yeah, I'm not liking that lid. This is the butter melter, and the first time I did it, I put the butter on top of that, but by the time the popcorn was done, the butter wasn't even melted. So second time, I melted 2 tablespoons of butter and I poured it in that way, but it took longer for the popcorn to pop, and it still came out tough and chewy. So I'm gonna still try this version. I'm putting the salt in here. I like my popcorn to have a buttery, salty taste, not the styrofoam tough chewiness. And this popcorn popper has caused my popcorn to taste that way. So the third time, I'm going to do it the right way. Well, I'm going to put the vegetable oil in that, and when it starts to pop, then I will pour the butter on top. So I'm grabbing my vegetable oil right now. And I'm going to pour a tablespoon and a half. This measuring thing doesn't have a half a tablespoon measurement, so I'm going to have to measure this blindly. It says 1 to 1.5 tablespoons of oil, so I'm doing it like that. And again, this does not have a on and off feature. Once I turn it on, plug it in, it's on. When I unplug it, it's off. I'm using Jolly Time popcorn this time. This is what I used the last 2 times. And Jolly Time makes some good popcorn, but like I said, with this popcorn popper, it's kind of difficult. And I'm making sure the lid is all the way on there, because if I don't, the popcorn is going to probably pop somewhere else. So this is going to pop within 2 minutes. Have my little trusty butter waiting. Actually, let me see if I can crank this up a little bit so you can see when I pour the butter inside. And I apologize, I just do not have proper lighting, proper camera technique at all. So I'm doing the best I can. Alright, so as you can see, the popcorn is pretty tiny, so that means that this is still coming out tough and chewy. I had to turn it off because, like I said, this popcorn cooks really, really fast. So I'm going to put the lid on top of that, and I'm going to flip it. Hopefully the lid will stay on. See all that popcorn? I turned it off sooner than I should have, but I just didn't want to have soggy popcorn, and I have soggy popcorn. So this has turned out to be a bust. I really am not pleased with this popcorn popper at all. I have used it 3 times already, and every single time, they say 3rd time's a charm, this is done. I do have another microwave Nordic ware bowl. I don't know, maybe I should just, you know, just go and just try to use it, see what I could do. But I'm too nervous about using that for a non-turning microwave. So this Orville Redenbacher popcorn popper is a bust.